Hi Leo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic Oracle spread as always, and I'll also put an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have Libra. So for you guys, that's actually your third house of communication, short distance travel as well, siblings, and we do see Libra energy in your spread too in the foundation. We also have the South Node, and the South Node is actually in Sagittarius. It's wrapping up its transit through there, but for you guys, that's your fifth house of romance, creativity, children. And we have the fourth house. So that's Scorpio energy for you guys, and that represents home, family, your roots. And at the time I'm recording this, there's still tons of energy in Scorpio, but of course for December we'll see some of that start to shift into Sagittarius. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. Okay, in the main situation position, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here. And for you guys, that's your second house of finances, possession, self-worth. So to me, this could just be saying that you're called to actually get out and enjoy yourselves a little bit this month. If you have, especially if you have accumulated some level of financial success, I feel like it's saying to just take a little bit of time away and enjoy that. Now with the Challenger obstacle position, we have the Four of Pentacles, so pretty big contrast in energies there. This is Capricorn energy too. So for some of you, could just be saying that the Challenger obstacles, you might have just been very focused on work, and not really wanting to take that time off for whatever reason. Now I will say, to be fair, we're going to have a Venus retrograde that starts in December, and it's actually going to be in these degrees of Capricorn. So the lesson there might be to say, okay, well, don't necessarily go overboard, right, and completely ditch all of your responsibilities for the entire month. But I feel like you are being called to at least take a little bit of time away to help you reset. And if seeing this in the challenge position, I feel like this is the same for the majority of you. You've definitely done your fair share of work. So it might be a good time for you to just take a little bit of time away. Alright, in the foundation position, we have Justice. So like I mentioned, the Libra energy also came up in your dice. So could just be a focus on communication this month, for sure. Obviously, we had a Mercury retrograde recently in the sign of Libra, so could just be some reevaluation and rebalancing when it comes to communication that you guys might have been experiencing recently. For some of you, this could even just be saying that maybe the reason why you were being a bit tight with finances could have been because there might have been a legal situation. So given this and what I see in the present position, if there was some kind of money you've been waiting on in some type of legal settlement, it looks like that might be coming through for you guys this month. Alright, in the past position, we have the Star. So this is actually the major arcana card for Aquarius, which is your opposite sign of partnerships, contracts, and relationships. So could just be saying that maybe that's where your focus had been. I will say recently we had Saturn and Jupiter start their direct motion in that sign, so that could have shifted things for you in that regard. But for others of you, I always do point out to people that this is the card that comes after the Tower in the major arcana, so some of you might have actually gone through a bit of a Tower moment as well. And in the past, you've just been growing from that, feeling the course correction that came along with it. But for some of you, that could have been around finances too, so that also could explain why you might have been a bit tight with finances for a bit. Alright, in the present position, we see the Six of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here. Now, at the time of recording this, we haven't had that full moon eclipse in Taurus just yet, so this could just be pointing to that timeline for some of you, which is to say that maybe when that takes place, you might actually see some shift with your finances. Now, given that that is your career, your house of career and social status, could just be pointing to maybe some of you guys might get a bit of a raise or a bonus that you might not have been expecting. But either way, looking at these cards here, it does look like finances are going to shift for you guys this month in a positive way. Alright, in the near future position, we have the Six of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the King of Cups, Scorpio energy. So, for some of you, if this was around your home environment too, or possibly something related to a home, so maybe a sale of a home, for example, and maybe there was still some money due to you around that, or some kind of closing fees or some craziness that went haywire, possibly because of the Mercury retrograde, right? So, could just be saying that you're getting that squared away now. For others of you, it could just be saying that you might be restoring peace in your home environment, possibly around a relationship at the same time too. So if things have just been hectic in general, right? Maybe you've been, again, there's a few different ways it would be playing out. Maybe you've had to put a ton of energy into your work life, so your relationships have been suffering. It's just one of many examples. But yeah, looks like it's saying that there is at least a desire to restore peace in a home environment. Alright, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Four of Cups, Cancer energy, the Three of Cups, also Cancer energy, and the Wheel of Fortune, that's Jupiter energy, which is in your opposite sign. So for some of you, this could represent possibly getting yourselves back in the dating scene. So for example, if these would represent offers that have been coming your way, but you just weren't necessarily happy with them, we see the Three of Cups being a big shift in that energy in a positive manner. And with the Wheel of Fortune, could just be saying that might have been because of the whole retrograde cycles you had going on in your opposite sign, especially Jupiter in this case. That might have been blocking things for you a bit in that area of life. Doesn't necessarily have to be that though. Given that Cancer energy for you guys is your 12th house, this could just be saying that maybe some ideas you'd had around some type of a project or something along those lines, you might not have been happy with the way they were coming out, right? So maybe you just had a bunch of creative ideas, but you were having a bit of difficulty thinking about, okay, well, how could I bring this out into a practical manner, right? And then with that Three of Cups could just represent a bit of a breakthrough energy for you. And it could just be saying that that's going to bring you forward in that regard with the Wheel of Fortune. Either way, this is definitely a positive card to see there. And I mean, if you just think about it in the natural progression they came out in, looks like improvement for sure. But yeah, whatever this cycle was, it looked like the Four of Cups cycle might have been necessary, because with the Wheel of Fortune, it looks like it's saying there was something to be learned from that. For some of you, it looks like you might have learned it, and now that's what's helping you move forward in a positive manner. And the Wheel of Fortune indicates that as well. I will say too, another thing this could point to, could just be saying you might have gone through a period of solitude as well. With that Four of Cups, and now the Three of Cups represents you reintegrating yourselves, right? Maybe socializing a bit more, possibly even connecting with family or, people you hadn't seen from childhood when you go home for the holidays. Just some generic ways those energies could play out. All right. In the environment position, we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, Seven of Wands, Leo energy, and Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. So, seeing the Scorpio energy here, it does look like I said, it looks like if there was some kind of tumultuous environment that you guys had going on in general when it comes to your home environment, it looks like you are leaving that behind. And it could have even been causing some kind of financial strain as well. And if that's the case, it looks like you guys are slowly getting yourselves back on track. So that could be, again, what we see with the main situation and the challenge. I do have to say, unfortunately, this could even point to, for some of you might have had family members that might have been a bit draining on you financially, or just even emotionally, but I'm getting a bit more of a financial vibe with this, and it could just be saying that maybe you're separating from that, right? So, just, hey, we all have them in every family. I feel like there's some people that, might feel a bit draining in one way or another. But yeah, it could just be saying that you're moving away from that. Let me see what else comes to mind with this. And I do have to say, for some of you, this could even just represent, as opposed to a physical person, just maybe beliefs that you might have had from your early upbringing that you might be leaving behind now. Like, okay, you know what? Yes, they fit my life at a certain point, right? But now they're not really vibing with where I'm at right now, pushing those beliefs away and actually moving forward on your own path. So That could be what's playing out for some of you as well. And I mean, it is the card in the environment, so it could totally represent the energies that someone else is going through versus you. But for the majority of you, I feel like this is pointing at your energy. Not getting a huge vibe of others' energy in this one. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Hermit. So this is actually the major arcana card for Virgo, so yet more Virgo energy. And the Seven of Cups, more Scorpio energy. So interesting. We see the Scorpio and Virgo energy here. We also see it in this position. We did see the Virgo energy there, and also Scorpio energy there. So there's a lot going on with those energies. But again, family, money, right? So it looks like this, in some way, family and money is mixed for you guys in a way that hasn't been working out too well. Or it could just even be in a more physical respect. Maybe you just had a lot of expenses around the home that have been draining you for a bit. But either way, it looks like you are being alleviated from those expenses, whatever they are tied to. With the Hermit and the Seven of Cups, yeah, I mean, that might have been what it was. You know, maybe you had, again, multiple family members, right, who needed things from you. Multiple things in your house that you were trying to tackle at once, right? Maybe you decided you wanted to renovate the place where you're at. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, where do I even start, right? So it could have been one of those things where on the surface it might have sounded like a good idea, like, oh, you know what, let me just renovate a couple things here and there. But then when you really started to look at the house as a whole, and you might have started to realize, okay, maybe this is a bit more extensive than I realized. Extensive and possibly expensive too, right? So maybe more work than you were expecting and more money than you were expecting. But yeah, that could be how it's playing out for some of you. Positive thing there, if that is the case, like I said, it looks like there will be money coming through for that situation, regardless. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Sun, which is your ruler. We have the Six of Wands, also Leo energy here, and the Nine of Wands, Sagittarius energy. So it's interesting to see these two very positive energies. The Sun, the Six of Wands, especially given that this is a Leo card in particular, that makes it a little bit better for you guys. But then to see that Nine of Wands with the Sagittarius energy. Now, I will say we are going to have a new moon eclipse in Sagittarius, so I think it's going to be in those degrees too. So maybe that's part of it. You know, maybe that eclipse energy might throw you off for a little bit. But I feel like if that's the case, it'd be very short-lived. What I feel more than anything, it could just be saying that for some of you might have gone through such a rough stretch for a while that now things might turn around in your favor, right? I mean, we did see the Wheel of Fortune come up in your influence on the situation. Could just be one of those things where now all of a sudden these conditions improve and you just might be a bit skeptical, like, okay, how long is this going to last, right? If you've just been going through a really rough stretch. And that happens, right? We've all been there at one point or another. You just have a period of time where everything seems to go wrong, and all of a sudden, all right, it starts to go right in a much more positive manner, and you might be like, okay, this is awesome, but what's the catch, right? But if that's how you're feeling, I feel like you're not really going to have to worry about that. Looks like things are actually could just be a cyclical thing, you know, whatever rough stretch you went through, there was a reason for it, like I said, and it looks like you guys seem to be coming out on the other side of that. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, and bottom of the deck we have the Page of Wands. So, all right, curious energy there. Could just be pointing to the energy that we will have in Sagittarius, re-energizing you guys as we move through December. And beneath that, interestingly enough, we do see the Three of Pentacles. So, yeah, like I said, this is some kind of collaboration, or for a lot of you, I was getting the vibe of maybe renovating your home or something like that. This looks like that will be going on a much better path as we move forward. So, if that's your situation, hopefully that resonated. All right, moving on to your Oracle card, we have Regeneration. There's the artwork, and the number is 46. Okay, it says rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. The Oracle's message. Second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So yeah, like I said, it definitely looks like there's indicators here, especially those major arcana, that it absolutely does look like you guys did go through a rough stretch. And if I recall, with the exception that I think last month's reading for you guys was pretty positive, but I feel like there were a few months before that where they were definitely a little bit bumpy. So could just be saying that you guys are finally coming out of that energy. And like I said, it really could have just been primarily due to those retrogrades you had in your opposite sign. And I mean, we have the Uranus energy too, so plenty of rough energies for fixed signs in general. But hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says the world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. There is life after death, love after loss, and in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. So, pretty positive message there. I didn't get like a huge one-to-one relationship vibe with the spread, but if we think about those cards in the environment position, if that's the case, obviously we have the death energy here, and then this almost reminds me of the judgment energy, which is the rebirth side of that. So, hopefully that resonated with you. The prosperity message says, what happens when it appears you failed at something? Do you see the beauty in the lesson? The understanding that arises from difficulties is like a seed that lies dormant for a time. Then, once it germinates in your subconscious, it pushes through into your awareness. It is becoming apparent that there is a new you, a new start. A more powerful version and form of what you began to plant in the garden of your imagination has surfaced. You are ripe for success. New opportunities, much better than those that came before, appear like gifts from the gods. Now is one of those times when out of seeming loss and failure comes remarkable abundance. Do not dwell on the past, because you really are experiencing a rebirth. Yeah, again, pretty positive message there, and the main spread seems to flesh out those same energies too, so definitely hope that resonates, because it sounds pretty positive. Alright, and lastly we have a mudra for you guys. So here's your mudra here. It's the Makara mudra. Keyword for it is fertility. Alright, and there's the info on it there if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits it says improves memory, strengthens the kidneys, helps to relieve low back pain, nourishes the hair, and restores energy reserves. So if that sounds like a mudra you think will be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of it in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.